Hey everybody, welcome to Tuesday night. We get ready to chat it up again. Adam, how you doing this evening?
I'm so tired. I'm so tired and so old. But
Why?
good. Otherwise good. Because I stayed up all night Sunday night because some people in racing are horrible influences.
Yeah, we have that problem. Am I lagging behind here in my video a bit? Or do I
No,
look
but I
normal
thought
to
the
you?
show was I thought the show was lagging behind a little because after our that intro music, that screen seemed to linger for a second, almost to the point where I was gonna be like, and that would have been bad.
I'll try not to look at the screen. We'll just keep moving on. Well, first off, congrats. Connor got the big win on Sunday, obviously. Those here know how important that was to you as a dad. A bit of an emotional moment. You mentioned that, brought back a lot of joy. Connor's going to join us later on tonight, but maybe just give us, the Cole's Notes version of your. Let's not get into too much, but it meant a lot, right?
Yeah, let's talk about that separate right now because it's got nothing to do with Connor. I I raced back in. I raced as a kid in karts up through a teenager. I ran some vintage modifieds as an adult for a couple of years, and it was really hard when it was a long depression when I quit. I love announcing car races, but I was definitely depressed after not being a race car driver anymore. And over the years, I have fun being at the races. But walking into victory lane reminded me what it felt like. It was that high that it's not over anymore. I felt better for Connor than I ever did for myself. And I loved that feeling myself. And you love it for your team and all the people that support it and all the people that work hard on it. Like it all came flooding back, Clinton. And I think that's something. I'm not going to pin anything on you or anybody else, but it's something that I've lost track of over the years. So I need to bring more passion or joy into a big win, especially a win like Keegan Baker's. Um, First timer, we got a long list of first timers to go through. It had been lost on me because I didn't remember it. And now I remember it. And that was so awesome.
Yeah, I think it's easy to remember. Or I guess it should say, it's easy to forget why we do this. When you get into it as immersed as we are, sometimes you forget the joy and the passion, and it becomes a job for most of us on this side of the fence. And I'm glad that you could get that back. Big win. I mean, I don't think it was insulting at all, other than maybe Connor himself. For anyone to think it might have been a year or two before Connor could get to victory lane, because it is a tough division to win in, and it is a hard craft to learn. So for him to get out there and get it done, and I know what the Brighton family down there and the Rinaldis and everybody means to Connor and to you guys. So, he spends a lot of time just going down and hanging out with them guys. So to get it done at Brighton was probably extra special as versus to like a Merrittville or something, which still would have been great. But I'm sure there was an extra few candles on that cake because it was at Brighton.
I got one more quick funny story. So I'm in victory lane and my phone rings. What the hell? I look down. It's Angie Rinaldi. I said, hello? Like, it's Ann. She's the boss. He won. I know he won him in victory lane. Like,
That's
so
cool.
she was so excited that she made that call. I called my ex-wife, Angie, walking out of victory lane. She's like, no shit. Yeah. So anyhow,
That's cool.
Yeah. Thanks for bringing that up. Yeah, it was.
Connor's going to join us later on tonight in about a half an hour's time. Keegan Baker, I also invited him to come on to another first-time winner in the crates, which is a great story there too. Just seeing his mom and dad in victory lane was awesome. Let's get to Alex Naggie. Alex is going to join us. We know Alex as the director of racing for the United Racing Series and all their entities, and a guy we work closely with for the Racing America ABC broadcast. Let's get Alex on the show now here. If you can, Alex, welcome to the program. Good to have you, bud. Welcome.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate
it. Alex, I got a question for you. You've been in this long enough. How do you keep it from getting jaded when, you have those rough weeks, and you have those events where things don't go how you want to plan. How do you still get enjoyment out of the sport after all the years and all the bullshit we've been through?
Uh, I don't know. I mean, I think I always tell people it's the same as when I raced. I mean, you have highs and lows, and it's no easier on this side. Everybody still puts in the time, and I don't ever find a way not to love the sport still because I think it's just one of my passions.
No, that's a good point. And in your introduction, Clinton, this will come into play a little bit later in the conversation. Alex is also one of the toughest short track racers that I've ever watched. Like some wild battles, and we'll get into what makes a great battle a little bit later on. But that's the second part of why Alex is here. The first one is exciting race on the weekend, and it leads into like exactly what you want to lead into your biggest race of the year is a little bit of hard feelings, excitement, nothing torn up too badly. How big is this going to be when we hit Delaware?
I think the race overall was fantastic from first to last, and the battle that there's obviously some animosity between the top two drivers, Jake and Kyle. It's been growing over the past couple seasons. People were wound up in victory lane a little bit, and I think it's awesome. I mean, you always have to have a story, and I think what sells tickets is excitement like that. But ultimately, when you have, I'll put our racers, our teams up against anybody's in short track asphalt racing, and uh, I saw a couple pros go at it. I know you've been on the bump and run question today, Adam. You've had it out there, and listen, I don't love it. I've given it. I've received some. Um, I'd rather see cleaner racing, but I'll say this. For me, we don't get that a lot in the APC series, and that's because we have a bunch of respectful drivers. But there's times, man, I don't care who you think you are or who, what you've done, who's taught you. There's going to be times when you do something like that to get a win because you wanted it so bad. I mean, those guys battled side by side for I don't know how many laps. I'm sure sitting in the car, it's different than watching from the outside. I'm sure there was times when somebody got squeezed and somebody got squeezed up towards the fence. There's all that stuff, and it builds up, and next thing you know, it's you two going to the checkered flag, and stuff happens.
So let's talk dates for Delaware. Let's make sure we include that. Let's talk about the show. What are the fans going to see, and then we're going to get into some racing psychology.
Yeah, it's going to be a great Canadian race weekend, September 26th and 27th. The 26th, we'll have the final round of the Dayco Superstock Series with a $20,000 purse, $3,000 to win. We'll also have Delaware Modifieds that night. We're going to announce the King of the Hill for a finale for the King of the Hill. We had 33 or 35 cars last time, a couple weeks ago. Working on a little bit of a bone stock special, like a dash for cash sort of thing. That'll be announced soon. So Friday night's going to be fun. Camping all weekend. There'll be all kinds of things going on up top on the grandstand. 27th will be the 300 Castrol 300. Also championship for the Oscar Hot Rods, Oscar Modified. So a lot of championships being handed out during the weekend, which is kind of cool. Every race is a championship race. So yeah, it's going to be the biggest yet, not just because it's the biggest purse, but we've had a lot of different people contact us about racing that hadn't raced with us for a while. That's exciting. I think things like this bring out some people that you haven't seen for a while, and that's what makes it exciting.
Alex, this is something you guys are going to try and build into a year-end event, right? Because this kind of fall, I don't want to say fall brawl, but that's kind of what it started as, and this kind of year-end, bring it all together at the end of September. This is a tradition you're going to try and build here, and we're going to see this grow year after year, correct?
Yeah, correct. I mean, it's got a lot of history. This is a 44th year for this race, and it's been in like every long-standing race. It's had different sanctioning bodies, from CASCAR to all over the place. But a lot of history, a lot of great racers that have won this race. The list is incredible, and but yeah, we look to elevate it again and bring it to the next level.
Adam, let me jump in here for 1 second. Then we're going to turn over some racing technology or psychology. Alex, first off, where can people find information about this if they want to go get tickets, camping? Do you have the website offhand?
Yes, DelawareSpeedway.com. Tickets are there. Camping's there. You can book it all. There's just drop down tabs. It's all there. Tickets are going fast. Camping's going fast. If anybody's going to come, they better get their spot reserved. But you go to Delaware website, it's all there. We'll have posts on that site and also through the United Racing Series site as well, the APC Racing Series. Either one of those two, you'll find information. But the Speedway itself is Delaware Speedway, and all the ticket and camping information is there.
Okay, last question I got, Adam, and then you can have them. Alex, how will the 300 be run, governed, officiated differently to be a little bit more efficient than how long it was last year? We're hearing potential changes. Can you give us any hints to what you may be doing operational wise to tighten up that 300?
Yeah, it's primarily the biggest thing there, Clinton, to do that is obviously by counting caution laps. So there's a certain amount of caution laps that we're going to count, working with our scoring team now to make sure that we can do some of the things we want to do without looking foolish. So in the next 1 to 5 days, I expect those procedures will be announced, but it's going to be a little exciting too. You know, we're going to the plan is to go with a one tire stop at a time. So not to change, not, put some live action back into the pit stops, but it'd be with electric guns, not air guns, not anything expensive. One tire at a time, so you don't need a huge crew to change a tire, and get the fans excited about it, get the crews involved again, and also a lot of strategy, which is something that I think some of our racing has lacked with all the breaks and different things. We just want to really kind of bring some old school feel back into it, but not have to make it so complicated or so expensive to do. It'd be just kind of a poor man's version of a live pit stop, if you will.
I love it.
I can afford the poor man's version of almost anything, so I approve of that, Alex.
Awesome.
So the bump and run, and I made it clear, and I'll make it clear again. I don't want to talk about drivers because we can't throw an opinion about a driver when it's allowed. When the series allow it, so we can like the move, dislike the move, but I don't hate the player, hate the game. If that's your choice. As pretty as Jake Sheridan's bump and run was, I thought it was very skillfully executed on the last lap at Sunset. We have seen it a little bit more. At what point, Alex, where's your breaking point between this is acceptable, but that is not acceptable?
Well, like I said off the top, excuse me, off the top, we don't get a lot of that in the APC series, and I think two reasons. Our drivers are respectful for the most part, as much as you can expect a driver to be with the emotions that flow, but also we do stress that we don't allow excessive aggression, and we penalize people for that. So I think that's kind of kept it away a little bit. I think what you saw with two drivers on Saturday at Sunset Speedway is something that we'll live with. Again, we don't love it, but you'll never turn a guy or a girl to win a race with us. You'll never close up maybe like a crazy 10-car ridiculous gap and bonsai in there and crash somebody or knock them up, scraping just something stupid that's ultra aggressive. We won't allow that as well. But what we saw there, we're okay with that.
And I want more. I want the Alex Naggie version. Let's pretend you're not running APC. Just in general, Alex Naggie, the former stock car racer, who did it to you I'm sure you've lost a race that way at some point.
Absolutely.
Who did it to you and you thought that was offside? Like that was bullshit.
Well, I've never, I mean, I've been wrecked on the last lap, and that's bullshit.
Yep.
That's a no go for me in any capacity, driving or otherwise, or on this side of the fence. But uh, I've accepted it. Close racing, you battled with somebody all day, and you don't love it, but at the end of the day, kind of put it in your back pocket, and you got one in the bank, so to speak. And but I've lived with it. I mean, disappointment is definitely part of it, and but as long as I just don't like people tearing stuff up. I don't love it to happen. Like I say, I don't condone it, but it happens. It's happened to me, and I've accepted it as long as it wasn't stupid, over aggressive. And yeah, I mean, I can't remember who's crashed me, but and listen, I'm sure I crashed somebody too in the last lap being over aggressive. So I'm no saint. I've given it, I've taken it, and it's, but I can live with hard nose racing.
Sure. Yeah, and there's no judgment here. Sorry, Clinton. That'll be my last comment on it. Is Alex? I've watched you race so hard over the years. That's why your opinion meant a lot to me in this matter, Clint.
See, I think that watching that race Saturday, Alex, everybody went home saying that was the best APC race they'd seen in a long. I think it's the best one I remember seeing. We were all on our feet. Jake was basically giving Kyle a written invitation to use that inside lane for the last, seemed like 20 laps.
Yeah.
Kyle couldn't get clear. He got alongside him constantly. I think Adam said it best, that it was pretty much a foregone conclusion that Steckley was going to win that race the way the lines looked. But man, they were side by side. I don't think anybody felt, and we brought up the bump and run. You don't want to name names, I will, Adam. We're talking about the Cameron deal on Sunday because it's happened so much this year in that series that it's become a bit of a drama point. I didn't even realize that Jake and Kyle got into that from my vantage point in the infield. I just remember leaving APC as a great race. But if you play that again, Spencer, he's alongside him. So Jake opened the door, I would say, but there's still a drag race down into 3, right? So check this out. So Jake does get in him. He may get the last shot, but he gets Kyle opened up here. But there's still door to door right here coming off the turn down into 3. It's still anybody's race at that point for the most part, the way they were racing. And I guess if the lines were reversed and it was Jake on the outside there, you could easily say it would have been an equal race back because the way that 52 was working on the top. But I'm with you, Alex. I think in that point that it was such a hard battled race, they didn't just pour it in like at the end and just steal it one away. Like that was anybody's race for the last 20 laps. So a little bit of a grind there is all right, I think. The way you put it too, it wasn't egregious. Now, my question for you, Alex, is there history behind these things when you're governing them? For example, back to the NASCAR thing, and I'm not putting you in that point because probably didn't even get to see the whole thing. But, in that situation, if someone has done it constantly, is there a harder way to govern against them?
Yeah, listen, Mark's a super aggressive racer, that's for sure. I know I don't want to name names, but you pretty much laid it out there. But you're talking about that particular incident, Clint, with Mark?
With
yeah, I mean, that's what's got everybody fired up today.
And, Mark has been involved in a lot of that stuff all year, obviously, and he's a hell of a guy. I like him. He's a heck of a racer, man. He came into that series when I was working there, and he's come a long way. Became an oval racer. Of course, he's a great road racer. I don't like it overall. As a director of that series, I wouldn't like it. But I think I heard Adam say something earlier today, or maybe in one of your posts, Adam, about shouldn't name names because if it's allowed, it's allowed, and don't blame the player. And I agree. And I'm not going to lie to you. That's one thing I did not enjoy with my job at NASCAR because they allow too much, in my opinion. Whether it's Cup, it's the same all the way through. You can wreck guys or girls to win. Nobody gets a penalty for the most part. And when you allow that, what the heck's a bump and run or grind it out? I mean, how do you
Yeah.
when you allow people to turn people to win, how can you penalize them for being aggressive every week? I don't know.
Yeah, and it really, what really sunk it for me, what really made it sink in for me, was when it happened to Gary Clute in May.
Yeah, yeah,
It happened to him before, and he wasn't bitching, he wasn't complaining. He's like, when are we gonna race to the finish? When can we actually not wreck each other and actually race it out side by side to the finish? And that was out of, and yeah, that'd be really cool to see.
yeah.
Play this
I
one
agree.
again, because this I don't even think this is the most. This is probably the least offensive of all the Mark Antoine Cameron issues we've seen this year, if you want to call it that.
I
Like,
agree with you, Adam. Yeah, I agree with you.
I don't think this is super horrible. Like, that could be two guys fighting for the same spot. He poured it in hard, but he was coming hard anyways. And he obviously had the speed because he drove away from him. But
Yeah,
still, it was that, we've seen a lot worse. And not just from the 96, I mean, across the board in all the series, except APC, because for the most part, we are clean. I'll give you that, Alex. But what a great
Jesus.
discussion. It's something that's going to
Don't
go on
drink
forever.
that Kool-Aid, Clint. Alex has to say that. 2 of the races this year have ended on bump and runs on the last lap. I still agree somewhat with Alex. Like, I think the racing in APC this year has been better than it's ever been. I truly believe that. Like, the competition has been unreal, but it's there.
Sure. But I agree with you,
It's
Clint.
not.
I think
Hey,
when
it
you're
has
Mark
not
guy,
been the. It has
I was
not been the epidemic it's been in other series, Adam. And you
That's
you
okay.
can't argue that.
I'll agree with that. I just
yeah,
thought your
and
answer.
I don't have to say that what Clinton just said, but I agree with you, Clinton. I mean, if we were garbage and doing a bad job officiating every week and letting all this stuff go and getting messy, I mean, I thought our 2 solo races were a little bit sloppy, and I told the guys at the drivers' meeting on Saturday, we're just the last couple of races we've been a little sloppy. It's not crazy, but just not like we like. And it's not just me. I mean, as a group, it's all about the racers. And as a group, I just thought we were sloppy, and we're all included in that. And I think they tidied that up on Saturday.
Is it just
The
me, or
takeaway.
do I feel like we have an old school, like all the drivers in that series come from old school families who were raised in that old school punch you in the face if you step out of line attitude. And I still feel you've got some of that old school respect in that series, because I don't want Sean Chenoweth showing up in my pit after I've turned him around, just because it's not fun. You know what I mean? And you got to know that. And everybody's feisty. So I think that kind of helps police it too, that it's a tough series in that regard.
Yeah, I agree. There's definitely some influence in there from drivers from a different era. So I think that definitely does help. But
So
I just wanted to say
Alex,
something about Mark, if I could, because I love the guy. But I agree, Clint. The one on at CTMP on the weekend wasn't crazy, but with his reputation, everything looks really bad, right? It's just
Yeah, I think that's it.
that wouldn't have been
Last thing I
looked
got
at.
for you, Alex.
Yeah,
Before we jump into Jared Fitzpatrick, and we're going to find out if he's going to be part of this great Canadian weekend, because when you announce the bonus between someone who could win the Pro Late and the Super Stock, JR comes to mind as hopefully we can get him off the couch back to it. So we're going to get the story on that. Good, bad, or ugly. But, when we get farther off that side of things to those guys, let's look at the point standings, Alex. What a crazy year it's been to set this up. I don't think on paper we could have ever planned it any better to have this points. It seems like the right guys are finishing second and third every week to tighten this thing up tighter and tighter to go into this finale. It's going to be amazing TV for us to cover on Racing America.
yeah, I agree. I mean, it's top 4 separated by 18 points or something like that, 19 points. And, give Josh Dottie credit too. He's led this thing a lot of the year. Kyle has closed up the gap here in the past month. And Josh was, he struggled a little bit, got knocked around a little bit, lost some spots early on Saturday. And next thing you know, there he is on the bumper of Steckley at the finish, protecting his points as much as he could and quietly going about his business.
and
Right
that
on.
let it be remembered, Steckley could have it would have been easier for Kyle to back off a little bit on the backstretch and just punt Sheridan into
Yeah,
3, but
yeah,
he drove it in on the outside and
yeah.
tried to
Give him
do it right.
credit.
Yeah, Alex, thanks for coming. Thanks for chatting. Excited to get to J.R. Fitzpatrick. A couple of great guests. Clint, I just sent you Connor's email. He hasn't seen the link, he says, for when he can.
Congrats
sent
to
it to you.
Connor, by the way. Congrats to you and
Thanks.
Connor and the family. That was awesome to see that post on the weekend. And yeah, speaking of hard ass drivers that we loved having our field, your next guest coming up, and he knows how much respect to have for him. So he's a hybrid. He's old school and no school. That guy, he's got it all.
That's awesome. Thanks, Alex.
Thank you, guys.
Right on. Connor should have what he needs now, Adam. Let's jump into J.R. Fitzpatrick as soon as Spencer's ready. JR, the hot question, are you coming off the couch to get
I'm
out
sitting.
there with the
I'm pretty comfy
APC
sitting here.
and the Superstocks?
Hey, you look great. I don't know if you're sitting on the toilet or on a race car, but whatever.
I'm sitting on my cooler. This is the only spot I got service to talk to you guys. But in regards to the 300, as you see right there, my car is still in pieces. But I have a couple of opportunities here that I just got to see if I want to go ahead with or not. And I have opportunities to get into the race with some good cars. So, just got to decide. That's what I want to do.
JR, is it fair to say that you decided to go on some other racing adventures because you were tired of the expense of the kind of physical racing that's going on?
I feel like I just need a break because I've told everybody, like, if you want to go APC racing, it's like the old CASCAR days, man. It's a second job. If you want to run up front and compete with 22 Racing, McCall Enterprises, and some of the other guys that are out there, it's a full-time job. So I just felt I needed a break. Some of the things going on with my girls, getting older, stuff with Emily, and I just need to step back a little bit and set some of my focus on my family. And yeah, I was pretty disheartened with the Flamborough deal. Still am, as that car's still sitting there, as you see, in pieces. I think that's primarily the reason I just didn't get out, beat Dale Shaw's head in, is because I was just over it. I think I was just over it. So I'm missing it. I'm not going to lie. I'm really missing it. I'm really enjoying watching the APC races right now. They're putting on great races. I just wish I could be a part of it.
What's going to take, JR, to get you a part of the Great Canadian Week? And then I'm sure you got straight stock offers out the ass. You could take any one of those to get the thing. You're obviously one of the favorites on paper. When they put this event together, they figure this is going to help a guy like you get out there and back into the deal. So what is it going to take to get the passion back, to letter up the fenders on that car and get back out there?
Honestly, I don't know if my car will make it out, just because, if you add everything up, that wreck cost me a transmission, a rad. So right there, we're, $5,000 I got to get still. I need 3 sets of tires. That's going to be $1,500 each. Fuel. It's just, I think for that car there, it's not looking like it'll come out. But, like I said, I have a couple opportunities here to be in good cars for that event. So just, trying to figure out which one I want to do and which one would be the best. And so I can't 100% say right now I'll be in the race, but I'm 90% sure I'll be there.
JR, moving to what you've been doing lately with the road course car, and on the weekend driving a vintage modified, what kind of joy have you taken from those things? And follow up, how the hell did you fit in that vintage modified?
Honestly, man, I just feel like just racing wherever, whenever. Obviously, I've been racing the super late for points, which is kind of a crappy deal right now because we're leading the points and I don't have an engine right now, but that's a whole new story. But I just feel like I used to love just bouncing back in different divisions and just trying to beat the best in that division, because I've always said, you drop down a level. I don't like to say it's dropping down a level. I just like saying I'm going back to try and beat that person in that division. So I really enjoy the challenge of trying different cars. And I got the opportunity this weekend from Rick and Ricky Williger to try a CBM. And as you know, I've always wanted to try one. I asked you what they're all about. And I can honestly tell everybody that they are a very unique, very cool car. I had a lot of fun, and the price is right on them. They're a ton of fun. And how I got in, Adam, I'll send you a picture later how I got out. I mean, I broke the mirror in the car trying to get out because I had to like squirm my whole body to get out. So it was kind of embarrassing, but yeah, it was a ton of fun to drive, but really hard to get out. And then, yeah, obviously the road course racing, there's a car there. Working on a little bit here. It's just brought back a lot of fun for me because I really enjoyed the road course racing. It's one of those deals where you can just have an okay car and just drive the living snot out of it, and you can do pretty well. I mean, this old car here, I got down to a minute 18 at CTMP. And if anybody wants to compare, that's 18. What the Pinty's cars do? 20.9. So, yeah, I did an 18.3, and the Pinty's do 20.9. So that's pretty cool for an old car. But I don't know, Clinton, to answer your question short, I guess I just love racing and just trying to get into whatever I can when I can.
What's next on the docket for you? What race do you know for sure that you've got coming up that you're looking forward to, if any?
Well, for sure would be September 21st in the road course car. The super lates are at sunset on the 20th at sunset, but we're just really waiting on this engine situation. I cracked a piston there at Laird, didn't even get the race, so we're leading the points there. And Klotz Automotive in Cambridge here is trying to get it back together for me. It's just parts we're waiting for. 6 to 8 weeks for a piston, so he's trying his best to get me geared up for that. And then, yeah, I guess we'll see on the 300 weekend, see if I can't test and try and get ready for that as well.
Awesome, man. And your thought in general on bump and runs. You were the last cast car champion ever. That was a physical time in racing when Kerry Mix made life hell for a lot of drivers. Like he was tough on everybody. Have we had enough of bump and runs, or do you think it has to stay as part of the sport?
Honestly, I've done bump and runs. I mean, I feel like a bump and run, if you're right up on them and you just move them out of the way, if you guys are battling hard, I mean, if you come from a track back and you deliberately drive through someone, you're obviously fast enough to get there, so you shouldn't have to move them. But like even the thing with Cameron, I feel like on the weekend, they should have seen it coming. He was on 4 fresh tires. Sam Fellows was not. And I truthfully think in 5A, 5B, Sam left the door open. Like, what's Cameron going to do? He's going to go for it. I didn't think that was malicious. I think what he did to Gary Clute the last couple of years was a little malicious. But,
right.
Man, bump and runs, it's all a part of short track racing. I'm not saying go out and wreck someone, but to move them, that's just racing, in my opinion.
No, that's fair, man.
No, that's fair.
And that's what I wanted. Clint, you got anything more?
No, we're good, man. Get your act together. I know the fans want to see you out there. You always bring us some good TV, so it would be awesome to have you as part of that weekend with us, JR. And you're welcome to go chase all that extra bonus cash. So let's see if you can win $30,000 on that weekend.
10-4. I'll do the best I can, guys. Hopefully see you there.
All right. Let us know.
Thanks,
see you, JR. Who's next, Spencer? Connor was supposed to be next. I know Keegan's been hanging around for a while. If we don't have Connor, bring us Keegan in the meantime. Whoever's up, we'll take him.
Either way, it's good. Couple of youngsters
Keegan
doing
Baker.
a killer job.
Hello, everybody.
Keegan, hey, man, how's it going?
Oh, not too bad. You know, working on race cars, going to school.
Not many people pass Jesse Costa. Not many people pass Jesse Costa towards the end of a crate race to take a win. And that's exactly what you did, man. You just drove an awesome race. Talk about how that feels.
Feels pretty good to beat one of the best when he was leading. I started third and fell back to fourth pretty early on, and then just started working the bottom pretty well. And then the restarts were definitely helping me. Definitely. And I seen what he was doing most of the race. He did the same thing. And I just started perfecting my line, and it really started to work at the end. I think the track was starting to come back a little for me, and just really started to work the bottom and managed to get around him nice and clean.
We don't see that inside lane work so good. So here's Costa on the bottom. This is Keegan working on the pass here. And Keegan, your car ran so good on the bottom. And normally we will see these. That's like a 360 line because the 360s will pull off the bottom. Why was your car pulling so good on the exit of the turns here? Because normally if you slow it down that much to roll the inside, usually the outside momentum will work to, against you here in the crates.
Well, the top was getting really far around, and it's a long way around the track, and the bottom it's the shortest way around the track, so sometimes it's going to be faster. And we had a really good setup for that night. We figured something out at the end of last year running the Nationals, and just kind of been sticking at that, and it's really been working for us. So,
what was the best part? Going under the checkered flag, finally realizing you'd done it, pulling into victory lane, or getting out of the car and seeing mom and dad? What was the best?
I think it was when I really caught him coming out of 2, when I got right up beside him and then got around him, and I didn't see him off of 4. And then once I got to the white flag, and I don't know, I was still going. I didn't hear him give it all I had. That was probably the best part. And then hitting the checkered, seeing my number up on the board, it's pretty cool.
Keegan, the track we saw Friday would be the track I think from a management side, we want to see for the championship finale this coming Friday and the Nationals the week after. It seems to set. It works for you, obviously. How do you feel about getting ready to chase $5,000 to the Nationals on Friday, September 12th?
I'm excited. I'm ready to go. We've been putting the work in. I almost did it last year, so we got there's a lot on my shoulders for this year to get it done.
Right on, man. Tell us where you're going to school quickly before we let you go.
Mohawk College at the Hamilton Airport for aircraft mechanic.
It's pretty cool. He's going to keep our planes flying.
Yes, I am.
Keegan, congratulations, man. Super exciting.
Thank you so much, guys.
All right, Keegan, have a good week, man. Good luck.
First one's the hardest one. You might go on a rip now and win a bunch.
That's what a lot of people keep saying. The first one's the hardest, and then they start to come a little easier. But I don't know. We're in a pretty tough class, and no one's going to give it to me easy. So I'm going to keep working at it.
Right. Good luck, Keegan.
Thank you.
18-year-old Keegan Baker with his first crate win, which was pretty awesome.
And I want to bring up some other wins that were great. I love first-time winners. Jordan Ramsbottom in the Canadian Vintage Modifieds, of course, Keegan Baker. Clayton Reed in Superstocks at Peterborough. Carter Rhodes in Thunderstocks at Brighton. Rogan Monahan with an asterisk beside his name. He finished second in the mini stocks, but he won by disqualification on Friday night. So they're pretty pumped up about that. And, of course, Cam Harris sent me a note to give me some more. Amanda Balson got her first modified win. This is all this weekend. Brad Stevenson got his first, they're calling them Gen 3 modifieds, Clinton, the modifieds with front fenders, but they ran with the Outlaw Super Lates. Still great. It was still great cars. Don't see other. And then the Kappa Chitties, if I say that name right, 2 of them won on the weekend. Where did that message go? At tons of first-time winners.
A lot of people peaking at the right time before getting their first win before the year's out. Going to make that winter a little bit easier.
No doubt. But Brighton Speedway, I got to call the action Sunday night. I think it's fair to say it's the second biggest crate sprint car race of the year, just about. $2,000 to win, a guaranteed spot for the Crate Nationals. So the Brighton Speedway Labor Day Sunday show is a good one. And a rookie got his first ever win, Connor Ross. If we can bring him on, if things are working. Looks a little bit like a villain, but what are you going to do?
Connor, don't listen to your dad. Hey, do we get to call Adam? Do we get to call you Kitty's money now since he's got all the bucks instead of it's Daddy's money? Did he pass any up the ladder?
I didn't want any. I just wanted to make sure it was securely in his wallet. Connor, welcome to the show, buddy.
Thanks for having us on. Sorry I was having technical problems, Can't figure out technology.
Well, I got one smart kid and I got you.
Yeah.
Don't take a shit. Connor, let's talk about your program. I'll be the first one to tell you I thought you were crazy when you want to go crate racing. Racing is an expensive sport. You put all your eggs in that basket. You're going out after it. You've got a young team that's working hard to get this done for you. A lot of hours go into it, just like everybody else. But, let's talk about your season. Obviously, this win has to feel like you've met your expectations for the year? Was that the goal? Get one win, run good, put it in the trailer every night?
Honestly, not really. It wasn't even about the win. It was just this year I just wanted to qualify for every main out Ush weekend and just run all the laps and make every show. And I was hoping for Rookie of the Year, and seems like we're on that track. But it was more or less just make every A main and complete every race we. I think we haven't finished two. One was a flat right rear, and then last Friday actually, I think we ran a total of 5 laps all night. We got lucky with no B main, and we were having problems, and I just started in park just for the points. And I guess we went down to Brighton with a car that didn't run, and Saturday we were still having problems, and I guess luck turned around. We figured it out for Sunday.
So Connor, the race itself, you started outside pole. The whole night prior to that on the Sunday, there was no outside groove. If you weren't on the only way to pass was if the car in front of you made a mistake and someone could sneak by on the inside. Mark Rinaldi and the crew worked the track for about an hour to get it back into shape. You start outside pole. What possessed you to commit to the outside at the start of that race? Like, I thought you were going to land in Lake Ontario. You drove it into turn 1 so hard.
It was a mixture of just watching and seeing what they were doing, and it looked like he was going to have some grip, but even the night before, the top looked like it was, but it was just all marbly. And, I was talking with a teammate, Cam Thompson, and Jordan Hill, who was turning wrenches on both of our cars, and you're like, just hammer the top in one, if you get a good launch, pull it down to the bottom, because that's where all the passes were that night. And I was talking to AJ and Nate Rinaldi because they were also helping me turn some wrenches, and they said it looks like there's going to be a top. And talked to Adam Turner last year. That's how he won it. Labor Day Classic. One of the nights was around the top, and I said, if I feel fast up there and nobody shows me their nose, I'm just going to continue to send it up there until I see somebody's nose pull alongside of me.
Jordan Hill on your crew, that's got to be a hoot, man. Jordan is always a blast to work with. Always got a smart-ass mouth. I got to love Jordan for what he brings to the table. Connor, let's talk about getting into Nationals week. You got Championship week this Friday, and then Nationals week coming up. What are your hopes and expectations, I guess would be a better way to put it. What would be successful Nationals for the 44 crate team?
It was just making it in the show, but turns out we've already done that, and it's more or less going to be a slick track if you look back at the recent years. And I've found I can work the top a lot better than last year when I ran the Nationals, and that was my first time in the car last year. But I think we've built up the setup book this year, and we still struggle a little on slick tracks at Ush Weekend. But if there's a top, I'm going to try and find, and I'd be happy with the top 15. Honestly, that's my goal, is just make it in, run every lap clean, and try and stay on the lead lap at a top 15. Top 10 would be an awesome run for me.
I want to talk a little bit more about the race, Connor, because a couple of yellows through the middle of the race. I don't know how nervous you were. I know I never got nervous, but I just got a little bit disappointed for you when Lance was restarting second, but then that last restart when Dykstra was starting second. Spencer, I don't know if you grabbed the crappy video off of my Facebook post, but you fought off a gnarly slide job by Jacob Dykstra. That was one of the tightest crossovers. And I've had comments from different sprint car crews and drivers to say that was a badass crossover. Talk about those restarts. Were you shitting your pants or what?
No, I was keeping it the same. It's hard to see it right. And at least when you're going around turn 2, you can see crew guys. So I'm trying to give up the thumbs up or thumbs down. See, if I have a gap or what's working, what's not. And it was hard to see. I stole Aaron Turkey's crew guy, Roy Riley, for the weekend. And I seen Jonah with his thumbs up. Cam's crew guys, I'm like, it must be working. And nobody showed me their nose. And going into that last restart, I hesitated a little with Dykstra behind me. I don't know why. but I hit it and I screwed myself, and he got a good run. And I was over at the Hills race shop buying parts, and Sean Evans literally told me that. He goes, I could tell you hesitated because he got a wicked start. And I knew he was going to throw a slider if he was there. And halfway through it, I was going to say, well, I can't drive around him. I might as well tap the brake a little bit and drive under him and drive down the track. And if I clear him going at a 3, get back up top.
Well, and we got it
Just
done.
like
Congrats, Connor.
Just like
Go
we
ahead,
said
Adam.
to Keegan Baker, Keegan passed Jesse Costa for his win. You had to pass Jacob Dykstra because he threw a slider on you. And then the next lap, it looked like he was throwing a slider, stayed down low, and you hooked the outside. So does that make it feel better, bud?
No, 1,000%. You know, Jacob's had 7 wins at Oshweekend this year, and you know he was dominant at Merrittville and Humberstone when the AST was around, and he was one at Brighton. I was watching a film from I think 2023, 2 years ago, and I just knew it. When I seen the leaderboard that the 5D was coming, I'm like, he's gonna be there, and you know I don't think he expected me to drive under him, but I wasn't expecting to either. The car just hooked up, and you know, I can't thank everybody enough for getting me to Brighton. Glenn Steyer's Racing's helped me out huge. Driving with Haley in the shop, Tire and Auto in Brantford. The Green Motorcycle Club from Hamilton, they're a non-fundable organization, do a lot of charity work. They've helped me a bunch. And the crew guys, Roy, he was on it all week. Cam, Jonah, Jordan, Nathan, and all those boys, they helped me a bunch, and we just had the car dialed in. And you know, looking back at the video, I was pretty pumped up to realize that I had built up a pretty good gap, and it scared me going into 3 because I didn't know how close Jacob was, but I knew that's where he was showing me the nose, and I about just drove it off the top of the track. In the middle of the corner, I said to myself, I just screwed it up. I just lost it. And I drove off, and nobody was on the inside of me, and I just started screaming and fist pumping, and the rest was it.
Good deal, man. It was fun to watch. So happy you got it done at Brighton. There was like 30 kids ran across the track, Clinton. That's all the party animals that play together on the weekend. So good for you, kid.
Good job, Connor.
Oh, thank you. And I was glad. Thank you. I was glad you were there. I was glad I did it at Brighton because, you know, they get on me like, when are you going to win one? And we got one done there so I could kind of wipe it in AJ and Nate's face. And it was awesome watching Carter parking in Victory Lane the race after because we knew we were going to get into the beers pretty hard that night, especially with both of us parking it.
Good deal,
Right
man.
on. Good luck, Connor. Couple weeks coming up.
Yes, sir.
We'll
Thank you so much for having me on the show, guys.
Love
Yep.
you,
No
kid.
problem. Talk to you soon. Good deal all around. Some great racing on the weekend. Where do you want to go from here? Spencer, do you got the picture I just sent you on Facebook? It's Nationals week coming up here at Oshweekend. Lots of great tickets still available. For tickets to camping, go to OshweekenSpeedway.com. We're going to kick things off Wednesday, September 10th with the Micro Sprint Nationals. It'll be broadcast live starting at 7 p.m. on G-Force. Thursday night, we jump into Middleport Mechanicals Understock Nationals and the Installation Mini Stock Nationals, along with 2 sessions, 2 groups of sprint car. I'm screwing that up. 3 sessions for 2 types of sprint cars. So I have two divisions in racing, 2 divisions practicing. And then Friday night, we jump into the Northern Crate Nationals with twins for the 360s, along with the final race for the Minis and the Thunders of the year. And then it's the 21st running of the Northern Sprint Car Nationals. 20,000 to win, 2,000 to start. The best of the best 360 drivers from North America will all show up, and the entry list is growing for all these races. Make sure you check it all out live on G-Force TV. Go to Oshweekend Speedway for camping and ticket details. It always turns into a great party. Make sure you're there with us on Nationals weekend. I'll put our shit up against anybody's, Adam, and that's kind of where we bring it. Who does it better? And this is where I get a bit cocky. I'd challenge anybody to show me who's bringing better broadcasting, better quality stuff anywhere in the racing world than what we're doing on G-Force. And I got a chance to reflect and watch some of our stuff back. even the emotions, of Keegan Baker's win and mom and dad there in victory lane, the slide jobs between Westbrook and Hansen at the beginning of that 360 race on Friday, the action we saw on Saturday from mini stock moms getting sons thrown out of the race because she won't sit down from the fence, to great racing between Kyle Steckley and Jake Sheridan at the end of that one. Like, man, everything we're putting out has been badass. So if you think you got a better job, bring it. I'd like to see it. We'll cut heads with anybody.
It's good to be proud of our work. And there's a couple of points that I want to make. There is a huge difference between a bump and run and a slide job. A slide job is not a dirty move. A slide job is a thing of beauty. A botched slide job can get real ugly. So they're not the same. But some people seem to think a slide job is a dirt. No, it's a well-timed, when executed
it's
right.
The best, cleanest, gnarliest pass you could ever make when executed properly.
Yeah, exactly.
Surprise! Geoffrey, I'm now in front of you.
Exactly. A lot of people say you must be so proud. I'm prouder of the fact that a lot of competitors came up and congratulated me. That shows me that I got a pretty good kid. That's what makes me proud. I'm just happy for him. It just brought reminded me of the joy that exists when everything goes your way and you get to victory lane.
Jeff McNeil asked, do you think we'll ever get back to 50, 60, or 70 car count? I do. Do you have any Nationals predictions, Adam?
My prediction is 42 cars, and it's going to be phenomenal. That's.
I think we'll be north of 50 in both classes. I don't doubt that for 1 second. Maybe not way north, but I think we could be at 50 and 55. I think we'll have 100 sprint cars in there over the two classes.
I'll tell you why I don't think we get those numbers anymore. It's because it's not easy money anymore. It's tough to even qualify for. It used to be anyway. The farther away you came from, the better you probably were. Ohio, Michigan, Indiana, New York, Pennsylvania, Quebec. And some of them don't make the trip anymore. But you know what? It doesn't matter because they wouldn't have been part of the story anyhow. Everyone who can be a part of the story is probably going to show up. And that does trim the number down a little bit, but it doesn't trim down the intensity or the level of talent.
No, I still think you can still have some luck go your way and qualify 30th and still make $2,000 Canadian or 1,400. It's $2,000 to qualify. So that's still 1,500 US. That's like second in any 360 race in the land right now for last place. So I think we'll get 55 cars probably, I guess would be an estimate for me. If anything kicked our ass, it was that track we gave the GLSS 3 weeks ago, and some of them may be soured because of that, and anybody watching it maybe will. But we've never had that at the Nationals. The track is always amazing and badass. The numbers are starting to grow. I know Haferteep has signed up, so he's coming back. A lot of our guys haven't registered yet, but just some of the names coming in, it's going to be amazing. So exciting to get that going. I'm not sure what kind of Burger Barn videos of the week we got left. Spencer, I don't even know what we sent in this week.
Spencer, I just put a picture in the dump. I'm sorry for doing it so late, but I need you to get it on, please. Not first, but at some point. Clinton, don't cheat. You're going to get it on first. Burger Barn videos of the week. It's not very often you get to meet your idol, Clinton, and that's pretty cool. But he's not my idol. He's your. I love Ralph Shaheen, but I didn't realize how important he was to you. I had the same conversation today with Dave Bradley when I was talking about him being there at the track. He was like, "Oh man, I would have shown up. I would have been in the media center more if I knew he was there. He's such a big deal to us because he's one of us."
Yeah, I grew up watching him on the the Nashville network. He covered all the sports from the motorcycles to the drag race, everything. I mean, Ralph Sheen did even before he got to NASCAR. And my story with Ralph Sheen, he's always the guy I looked up to in the first speed race I got to do for Speed TV at Syracuse. It was the studio re-edit where we did stuff live at the event, and then they recall it for TV after. So I didn't actually get to work with Ralph Sheen, but my very first big-time TV gig, Ralph Sheen said, "Let's go down to pit road where Clinton Geoffrey's standing by." So that was kind of a neat moment for me. But yeah, I would have liked to have met Ralph and told him that little story maybe. But it was cool you got to hang out with him.
Exactly.
And almost got him out there. Just to answer a question before we get to Burger Barn News of the Week. Yes, the mini stocks and street stocks will follow the same pattern as the crates and 360s. So it'll be time trials, heats, pole dash, and the mains after for all four of the Friday night divisions, let's call it. Micro sprints are a little bit different. Let's jump into some Burger Barn News of the Week unless you got something to add, Adam.
Nope.
Let's see what we threw in there.
Watch this as Mike Hopkins
I don't even know what half this stuff is.
Not happy, and he's about to let Bull Butcher know it, and he just
did he get him?
There in the left rear.
Just missed him.
Look, your nose is already tore up. Just go for it.
How awful is that? Like, you know what?
I don't know if Mike Hopkins
driving
is done
against
just yet.
traffic.
Well, he's pulled it into the pit here.
Those are the sort of things that make my blood boil.
Is that 2 weeks? Is that a month? Or is that the season in your books?
I think that's the season in my books.
Okay. Fair enough. Let's go somewhere else.
Day 77 of reviving this abandoned NASCAR track.
This is Matt Tiff.
Let's see.
They are restructuring this NASCAR
the first
track.
day
Turn
we
it up,
stepped into
Spencer,
this place, it was a wreck. Knocked down walls, overgrown grass, mold everywhere, creepy, but with so much potential.
Mansfield
walking
Speedway.
through, knowing what it could become. From there, we power washed the grandstands. They cleaned up amazing, graded the track and cleared all the overgrown grass. Held our groundbreaking event, hired a GM and an announcer, cleared out the suites, started to build a wall where one was missing, tore down the old track walls, installed F1 catch fences, cleaned up the ticket booth, pressure washed 20 plus years of dirt and grime built up, extended hillside seating, and even had some fun in our race toys and yes, ran over a building. This is just the beginning. If you want to see more of this abandoned NASCAR track being brought back to life, make sure to follow along with the series.
I think this is a super cool thing they're doing, Adam. They got a big social media presence. They bought Mansfield Speedway, and they're just bringing it out of the weeds and bringing us along. And I think this immersion is going to bring them a lot of fans who are going to watch them rebuild this place and become fans of it to come out and be a part of it. So I think it's cool what they're doing there, and it's cool we get to watch along.
That was a good word. Immersion.
That I used?
Look like that.
Oh, immersion.
Yeah. Because that's what
I believe
that's what we want.
That's what we do every Friday. You know, it's what we talk about. Like you've often said, we realize all the racers in Ontario are probably not going to get to come to Ush Weekend on a Friday. But if they're in their shop watching what we're doing, they're immersed in what we're doing. And when they can, they're going to come out and buy a ticket, be a part of it, check out the nationals, come to the big events, because they're immersed in the Speedway itself. So immersion's a big part of what we're trying to sell here.
And they're immersed in our stories. Racing is racing. It's cars driving in circles. But it's what goes into that and how greatness is achieved, how Dylan Westbrook, as young as he is the best to ever do it at our racetrack. Like there's so many, it's the stories that go along with it and the drama and the hype and the excitement. And you got to plug all those things in and try to convey. You've got to try to engage the people who are watching. So they know who they like and they know who they don't want to see win on a given night, but they're really pulling for this one. That's what we do. That was
like
some
if
of the
you're a regular and if you're a regular fan and you watch us enough, you know what it means if a Dylan Westbrook doesn't qualify for the A through the heats, or you understand the ramification of Dykstra having problems on Friday and falling back into the clutches of Jesse Costa, where it's no longer a foregone conclusion that the 5B is going to be the champion. Because of the situation, it's now close, you know. So those types of things, not super close. I mean, still gone by 31 points, but it is a main positionable. Meaning, I don't have the exact math, but you know, it's not a hey, if I start the race, I'm the champ. It's I still got to be in a respectable position to keep my spot. So, yeah, I also think it's like you said, and I hate agreeing with you, but you're absolutely right. We have to continue to tell good stories. That's our mission here. Tell good stories. And we have an abundance of it, so let's keep putting them out there.
And I had so much fun on the weekend. We get to meet somebody everywhere we go who tells us they tune into our show and they enjoy it when we disagree, whatever they might like or not like. But I had a first, Clinton, at CTMP. This lady saw me and said, "You're Adam Ross." And I said, "Yeah." She says, "I've got a strange question." I said, "What's that?" She says, "Could I have a hug?" Yeah, of course you can. That's no autograph, no picture, no nothing. Just wanted a hug. That's really cool.
Wow.
It's humbling to be out and about and I just meet people, right? And fist bumps and
You're a
handshakes.
big cuddly guy.
I am a big cuddly guy, but all we do is talk, man. We're just fixtures. We're part of the furniture.
All right, what else we got, Spencer? We still got a bunch to get through, I think.
Oh, trouble down into turn number 1. Jordan House hard into the wall. William Hale in the 62. Short-lived conversation as they'll take a walk over to the safety vehicles as Jordan House picking up pieces, tosses it at the 62. Now they're going to have a go. A hockey game has broken out in turn number 1. Officials in the middle. A haymaker by Jordan House, and they're down. Don't fight in the oil. It gets slippery. Jordan House being separated.
Is that Hunsinger on the ground with them, too?
I think our current race director is somewhere in that pile.
That's awesome. Who was the 62 that day?
A guy from Tennessee, I think.
Oh. All right. That was a good one. Adam's call of the battle. What else we got, Spencer? Oof. Oh, this is a clip of flag stands getting hit, I think.
Yeah, I don't like it when they hit the flag stand.
He almost looked like he was going to hug the pole there.
Right?
Look at this. Coming at you. Oof. Indoor stuff. Ooh. All right. Dang. All right. Keep them coming. Oh, Larry Jackson using the brakes. This was on Sunday. Got offline. Missed the braking point and kind of along for the ride after that. Man, Larry had a lot of time to think about that one.
All right. That's brutal.
It's like the third big problem he's had on road courses. Larry's got to be happy, as they said on the broadcast, to get out of there, get back to the oval tracks with 2 to go. Delaware coming up in 2 weeks' time, and then Montmagny the week after. What else we got, Spencer?
This was a great video from Dryden's win.
Yeah, track, man. Ooh, look at it down there. And it didn't even affect him at all, which is nuts.
He didn't let it.
His car's handled like a Sea-Doo out there on the water, just going. Yeah, awesome. What else, Spencer?
Oh, here we go.
Oh, yeah! Oh, yeah!
The announcer liked it. But to the official, get out of there. To the drivers, don't punch someone in the face wearing a helmet, you jackass.
Oh, helmet's off!
Okay, what else? Oh, just look at these machines. Budweiser Classic was on Sunday. These things are just wild pieces of machinery, man. Just the technology there. Those supers are unbelievable.
Yeah.
What else? Okay, look at this. This is like the world's longest single slot car track, I think. Like, can you imagine trying to line all those tracks up?
Yeah, like how
Not
much
even,
is too much?
It's not even fun. That's not even fun. You can't race that. Come on. All right, where are we going?
Oh, that's funny. Rogan Monahan's in the same program as Keegan Baker. And Rogan, congratulations. We'll make that a topic for another week when the winner gets disqualified. What could happen, what should happen, what does happen. And it's different at different tracks.
It's just been that way on dirt forever. All right, one more video. Oh. This is wild. Just on a motorcycle out and driving down the road, and all of a sudden they all get washed away by a tidal wave. One second you're on your bike,
one of them
next thing
saw
you
it
know, you're
coming.
not. Funny, all the buses. I saw it from another angle, and all the buses start, because they're up high, they can see it coming. They all start cheating over to the left, and the bikes just get washed out. Whew, another good show. Couple weeks to go in our Oshweekend season. Then we get into some extra stuff. You still got some NASCAR. We still got some APC. We're hashing out the deals to be at Autumn Colors Classic at Peterborough on Thanksgiving. There's Super Derby coming up. Still lots of action to come. Merrittville's got some late race shows. Brockville always races in October. So we'll have lots of stuff to talk about for another 2 months anyways. Month and a half.
We'll have something to talk about for life, forever.
We appreciate everybody joining us here today. It's been a good one. And I don't know. I guess that's it. We're good. Yeah, thanks everybody for being with us. We appreciate everything. Spencer, always good job. Our crew did a good job this weekend. Dan was away and got Spencer and Trent had a good show. 2 days getting it out for us, so always appreciate it. Thanks, everybody, for what you do. A couple weeks to go. Get your ass out to Oshweekend this Friday. It is Epic Race for a Championship night. We got 4 championships to be decided, and then we roll into Nationals week. We appreciate everybody with us here. We'll be at you soon. Don't forget, Micro Sprint Championship Thursday at 7 o'clock with Mac and Jack, so make sure you check that out as well. Live here on G-Force. Thanks, guys. Talk to you soon.